Finally, the day has arrived when we are working on blue. We're actually working on the intake system. We're building the, we're building this guy. Now, when you're building this guy, make sure you have your dimensions correct because they're not equal length. This, the carburetor sitting in the middle, right? It's not really in the middle. It's actually more on this side than it is in the middle. It's 1.25 inches. Don't quote me on that. Further this way. So this pipe is going to be longer. I'm sorry, shorter. And the one over here going to this runner is going to be longer. Alright, so I just made my bracket, bolt-on bracket for the carburetor so we can put it on the manifold. I want to say I kick ass. Look at that fitment. It is dead on. I'm going to cut the bottom portion of the manifold. It's going to be that piece right there. I already have it marked. So we're just going to go ahead and chop that. Alright. Okay, so I have this one fully cut. And then this guy is going to go right here. Like, yay. I mean, that is like perfection. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, a machine shop could have trouble making this accurate. I'm just saying. Si nadie me dice pretty good, pues, ¿quién más se da? So I have to cut right here. Okay, because this thing is going to be welded right there. Whoops. Here, cut here. This thing goes right there. They're not equal length, okay? Very careful. Very careful. Okay, they're not equal length. One length is longer than the other. So you have to make sure you know how this goes. This way or that way. Okay, you have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to screw up. All right, you're going to put this backwards. Then you're going to find out that you got the long end on the wrong side and the short end on the wrong side. Go, oh, fuck. And that's when you say, me quiero morir. Moved it over a little bit just so you guys could see. I went ahead and numbered it. 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, you can't see that. It's too freaking dark. 3, 4. Okay, so that way I can't fuck up, right? You know what they say? When you make it idiot-proof, there's always an idiot to prove you wrong. Okay, I got the hole in. It's nice and smooth now. And it's really, really nice. I mean, like I said, a machine shop could have trouble making it that nice. Whatever. So it's gonna go like that. With the bend going that way. AA. Okay, put the bracket on. And then I still have to make the bracket that goes right here, that bolts up to the engine block, so that this thing doesn't move, forward and backwards. Carburetor stays stable. So he's doing the welding on the manifold because I weld like shit, and that is flux core wire, and it's not very easy to weld. So if I weld like shit, imagine my flux core wire welds would look like shit. Anyways, so now I just have to weld this guy right here, and we'll be done with most of it. I haven't put it on, welded it on, because I actually need to install this part onto the car so that I can make a bracket right here so that I can bolt it to the engine. so that this thing, you know, doesn't move on me, like, you know what I'm saying? So I need to build that bracket, but I need it to be on the car in order to do that. And also, I don't know if I'm going to be leaving it right there or cutting it to where that line is. This guy. Yeah. So it'll be down here. But anyways, that's the whole thing. This is one of the reasons I didn't weld it right there, because I might have to cut it from there to shrink it. I'm not going to cut it from here. I just confused everybody. All right, whatever. Who cares? I already tested it. There is no pin leaks or anything like that. All the way around. This actually turned out a lot better than the muffler. The welds did. It's a flux core. They're not pretty. I mean, you can't really, you know. We're not going to waste any money on gas, okay? It's just not us. You can weld flux core and, you know, get just as strong welds. They may not be as pretty. You know, I'll just go flux core. I don't care about how pretty they look. But he did pretty good right there. Okay, so I talked to Torben about this. He said cut a wedge, plug it up so that the air transitions like this a little bit better. So I've got my wedges cut using my template, of course. Well, that's not the right one. This is the right one. Anyways, wedge is done. So I'm going to cut them and then weld these on so that we have a smoother transition. More horsepower, you know what I mean? Actually, CB Performance does this to their manifolds. So this is what you're paying for. So I got my wedges done. They go like that. I got little marks to know where they go. Basically, yeah. Wedge. Smooth transition. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Let me weld this. I gotta tack weld it, and then my son will weld it. The wedges that I cut in, they're plugged up. We're just gonna have these welded by a professional welder, and that's it. Okay, so now the air actually will transition a little bit better instead of having to make a wicked turn. Okay, I'll let him do that, and we'll come back to see how that looks. Okay, so we had the Torben approval. He said, excellent. So we went ahead with the welding process. And now the air won't go bang. It'll go, yeah, sound effects and everything. Just like that. And we'll have more power, more airflow. So there you go. Torben approved. So I ran out of time. I'm not going to be able to do anything. He's detailing that car. So we'll be, I don't want to take the car down for several weeks. So we're going to be just looking for a couple of days where I have Saturday and Sunday. Then I can work on it and it won't be down, because that's how I work. That's how I roll. It's no disrespect to anybody, however you do your thing, but I like to keep my cars running, not in process. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take the carburetor and basically just remove the Venturi. Like I said, a lot of the parts are going to get transferred over from the old carburetor so that I don't have to do a lot of work. But basically, let's see if I can get it out this time. Yeah, it sees up. So I'm going to go in here and basically remove that Venturi. You can see that ring. So I'm going to take that off completely. And we're going to run without it. It still has a Venturi built into the actual structure of the carburetor. So that's going to be the Venturi that we're going to be running. We're just taking out a Venturi. Think of Russian dolls. You know, take one out. There's a smaller one in there. You take one out, and so on and so forth. Okay, it's kind of like that. So we're going to take the small one out, but there's still another one already built into the carburetor. So that's what we're going to run with. So we should have almost 34 millimeters of throttle. Not quite, or yeah, 34 millimeters of Venturi. It'll be like 33.7, something like that, of Venturi. So it won't be exactly 34, but that car is actually, that's actually perfect. That's actually perfect for that car. That size Venturi. Doesn't have to be 34. So perfect. So for all you guys that are running in the sand, you're tired. You're really tired of your IDFs plugging up all the time. This give you 140 horses, and you don't have to worry about it ever plugging up ever again. Just run it. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the top. I already loosened all the screws. Okay, you have to replace this guy. Okay, that's a one piece thing. You need to go like 180. If you're gonna go with 2234, you like a 180, or your fuel is gonna run out of fuel. Your bolt's gonna run out of fuel at wide open throttle. Yeah. This one I have to reduce. This is the air corrector. I have to reduce to 65. It might be like 70 right now, but I'm gonna leave it and see if it runs okay at 70. But I think it's gonna have to be 65. Idle for my engine. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I have all the writings in the box right there of what the idle should be for my engine, which is a 2234. Main, which is right behind there, and located right there. I do not remember either, but whatever. Okay. I might have to remove my throttle to get to that plug. This plug right here. You have to remove that plug so we take the Venturi out. That's always fun. So let me see how I'm going to do that. I think I am going to have to remove the throttle assembly. So I'm going to take pictures and we'll continue. Okay, these screws were on there tight. I mean, super duper tight. I got them loose, but it took me a while. I don't know if you saw that. I had to hold the camera with my chin. Remember, you're taking video or pictures of how this stuff came off, okay? You don't want to forget. And I had to take off the solenoid, the fuel cutoff solenoid for the idle because this thing was in the way. So I had to take it off. So now I can take this off. Now I have clear access to the Venturi. It's going to come out this way, not down. It's going to come this way. Well, actually, technically, flip it over, it's down, right? Right. Okay, so this is the way I'm taking out that plug. This plug right here. That one right there. It's already coming out. I just found that from furniture that I broke up and into a million pieces, and those things fell out, and I just grabbed them, and I didn't know why. I just figured I'd probably need them in the future. And basically what I'm doing is just spinning this guy with my needle nose vice grips. You know, these are all faithful. These are like the stuff that I had when I was like 14. Anyways, so basically spinning it, and it's expanding inside, so it's basically like a floor jack pushing up, or a hydraulic jack pushing up. This thing is coming out. I wanted to save this plug. I didn't want to press it through because the way I did it last time, I just put a socket right here in the center, a small socket, and then I used my press right there, and I pushed it all the way through to this side, and the Venturi was able to come out. But see, I don't want to ruin this plug from this side because the outer diameter is actually slightly bigger, so the edges on the outer part is going to break off, and I didn't want to do that, so figure I'd just find a way to do this, and that's what I'm doing. So basically I'm just turning it, and it's expanding, and that's pushing it up. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so you're just gonna watch me suffer. Take that out. Yeah, she's coming up. Bam. Okay, now we can push the Venturi down. Okay, so this is all there is to this. Okay, it's just, this goes inside the wood of the leg. That's what I use. I'm sure you can find a nut that might be thin enough to fit through this hole. Okay. Yeah, this is how much diameter you have to work with. The nut can't be bigger than this. Okay. Alright, whatever. You can figure it out. You guys are smart. We're going to push it down. We're going to tap, you know. Yeah, she's going down. She's going down. Venturi is out. Okay, that's how you do it. Put your carburetor back together. You're done when it comes to this mod itself. Okay, now this thing will be able to feed a 2234 engine, which is a huge mother effer engine. Okay, this carburetor has flash right there, so I'm gonna take my file, my round file. This is a round one, and I'm just gonna go, you know, up and down. Take that off. Just, you know, cleaning it up. I'm just cleaning it up. I'm not gonna make it bigger. Okay, it's just removing that flash. Okay, so I'm putting my plug back. Make sure you look, you know, that edge corresponds to, you know, that sideways edge right there. Okay, so it's gonna it has to match that edge with that. Now this one's gonna stick out too far out over here, so I have to actually grind it down right here, and make it round to match this area right here. So I'm just gonna go on a grinder, a small grinding wheel, just go up and down. You know, imagine this is the grinding wheel. Okay, I'm just gonna go, you know, like that to get the shape so that it kind of matches this area right here. This is why I never get rid of my small wheels. Little projects like that. So I've got it in. I'm going to go ahead and whack it in, and hopefully it'll be close to level. It doesn't have to be perfect, but perfection is always preferred. I was looking for my little hammer. Okay, she's flush. See how it turned out on this side? There you are. See? It's almost flush, and it follows the curve. See? Flush. Flush. We're good. Okay. So I'm going to leave it where it is, and I'm going to put everything back together. Okay, this carburetor is back together, the bottom portion. Okay, got that in, like that, throttle, everything. Okay, everything else that needs to be done to this carburetor, modified, is jetting, okay? Jetting, you need to know your jetting. For that, the only person that I know that can give you the jetting is Torben. Okay, Torben. You have to hit him up at Samba and ask him a question. You know, send him a PM, private message, and he'll give you the approximate jets that you have to drill. Okay, like I know this one should be about 60 to 65. Usually 65 is perfect for this. When you remove the Venturi. Main, like I said, it depends on your engine size. The idle, which is this guy right here, that also depends on the engine size. Do not fuck with that jet right there. Don't ever F with that jet. That is a high-speed jet. Do not F with that jet, because when you change this size, increase the size of this main, or the idle, completely changes to a bigger size. That is ridiculously big. Don't fuck with that one, ever. This 11 o'clock. Don't fuck with that, okay? Only the idle. That's it. I'm gonna put everything back together. I'm not gonna do any jetting because I'm gonna steal stuff from the other carburetor to put them on these, because they're interchangeable parts. And it's back together again. So there's only one more adjustment that you have to do, assuming you already have your jet sizes and all that stuff. The other adjustment is basically here, the pump. Okay, on the older carburetors, Solexes, Bocars, this thing is over here, okay? So on this newer carburetor, large carburetor, basically This screw goes up, means more fuel. This screw goes down, means less fuel, okay? So mine was like right in the middle. Okay, so I just moved it a little bit up and see what that does. I might have to go up a little higher more, and if you know, and it should be fine. If you're having problems, just to experiment, go down and see what it does. I'm pretty sure it's less fuel, so you're going to be popping and just running like shit. But anyways, yeah. So I just went up on that screw a little bit higher, and that should give me more feel. All right, that is pretty much it, muchachos and muchachas. We covered this new carburetor, 39 millimeters. What? Yeah, 39 millimeters. This is perfect for sand dunes, and you don't have to worry about sand getting into your carburetor and plugging up your jets. Idle. Okay. Don't have to worry about that shit on these carburetors, assuming you have a proper, filter thingy going on. Like I said, I'm not going to work on the manifold probably till a week or so. I need several days so that I can have this guy apart. And I'm not going to take it apart because this car is a backup car for my son. So, he's working, and it's a pretty good job that he has. So he has to have something as a backup. And I'm not going to take it down. Like I said, it's, a lot of people do it different ways, They can afford to have the car down for several weeks as they're building it, a turbo or whatever it is you're doing to the car. We need that car to be operational, by Monday, just in case shit happens with his new car. Anyways, okay, that is it, muchachos and muchachas. I am out of here. I hope you guys loved this. Ooh, more light. This experiment. Well, it's not an experiment. Okay, it's been done by a very reputable individuals, mainly Torben, also known as Alstrup on the Samba. Okay, he's the guy that basically gives me some info when I'm lost or whatever, and basically for this modification. Anyways, special thanks to Torben. Thank you, and all of my watchers. There's more content coming on this, and we will do a pull to see what it does. We'll go on the dyno and see what it does. I'm suspecting we're going to make a lot of horsepower and a lot of power. I still have to modify my air cleaner to now allow more air to go in there. So I'm going to be taking out the center part, where all the horse hair is, the oil bath part. So I'm just going to take it all off. I'm not going to leave it on there. I'm going to leave the oil on the bottom. So, as the air is coming into the air filter, it'll wickedly get stuck. Basically any dirt will be flung out and land on the oil that's right here. Sure, we should be fine. So basically, I'm just going to take out the center part so we have more air going in there. I already modified this really large, okay? Took out like 3 inches or so of this because it was really, really tiny, like yay. And now it's like this, okay? So we should be able to flow enough air with this one. We want to keep it stock, we want to keep it basically a sleeper, So when you park right next to a Lamborghini and you go, whoom, it won't be embarrassing, It'll be embarrassing when you open it up and they go, what the fuck? That's a normal engine. What the fuck is going on? Whatever. Anyways, I'm out of here. Adios, muchachos. Adios, muchachas. Later, dudes.